What's good, everybody? This is the Generation 71 coming back to you with something a little different, actually. As you can see probably from the title, this is our first official podcast, and I say official, but it's unofficial. Yay! And speaking of which, my I was about to say host, my co-host here today is.
Hey everyone, it's Captain Force Falcon. I'm here with Jen, and we're going to be just, talking in that.
Oh my god, on the Paper Thin podcast where all our answers are paper thin.
Yes, which is very fitting considering Origami King.
Origami King, Paper Mario, which is actually going to be the subject of what we're talking about today. And it's funny because me and Forrest were actually talking about like how I was doing this as a blind playthrough, which it is still a blind playthrough. But I'm actually going to be uploading this podcast onto YouTube. So anybody on Twitch that were wondering why they missed a part, definitely head over to my YouTube. And for people on YouTube, it's like, well, I want to say everything else, definitely head over to my Twitch. Both of those links are down in the description below. So I guess our first topic was going to be just talking about just Origami King in general and how we feel about it, how we don't feel about it, how we cuddle with it at night, I guess. So
okay, so one thing that I would want to make clear is like, unlike you who owns the game and plays the game, I don't, but I've watched like a ton of streams and follow it, and I'm gonna be honest, it's one of the ones that is the first one in a long time where watching it has actually been enjoyable to me, right? Right,
it actually has a viewer vibe to it where like you could play it, and don't get me wrong, I have been enjoying playing it, but viewing it, I think you've actually can attest yourself by watching me play it, where there are times where like I don't know what to do here, and you could actually be like, you do this, you do that. It's like, hey, so it actually gets the audience involved, you know?
Oh yeah, especially with like the whole puzzle dynamic sort of thing, like, because like I can watch and like figure out these puzzles on my own, and it's just an interesting sort of dynamic to add to the whole franchise, right?
Right, exactly. And that's something I will give every Paper Mario from the 3DS and beyond, because I know there's going to be some people right away that are saying, oh my god, you guys are just boomers, you guys can't accept what the new games are doing, blah 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 blah. No, don't get me wrong, like Sticker Star, I definitely was for the concept in theory. Color Splash, I was for the concept in I was for the concept in theory. Even Origami King, I'm still for the concept right now. Actually, I have really been enjoying myself, but I still think that there are some critiques that can be made of the game, and whether you want to put that as just dumb luck, changing times, or corporate politics, and these bats are going to eat me, you have to admit that there is some things that are lacking in the game. Some things it does bring to the franchise, and I do hope to see in the future. But like you could definitely tell there's things that are missing,
Yeah, like in terms of like the RPG elements, right? You could say that, but like I think one of the things about this one that I'm gonna say differently is like the fact that if you don't look at it as just like, if you actually listen to what the creator is, it's like, oh, don't look at these as just an RPG, and you look at it as an adventure game. Like that does make a difference to how it works, right? Like,
yeah.
Like there is so much to this game that is like a lot of fun and interesting, and there's a lot of stuff that is constantly changing. Like, for one thing, like I think it's a cool thing that you have like these giant like paper mache versions of enemies and they actually have like sort of like combat that is outside of the battle system. I actually kind of like that sort of thing. It like is like a different style of combat you can kind of have.
Yeah, exactly. It actually implemented, I would, if I were going to put it in layman's terms, of like, it implemented a action RPG element into a traditional, okay, not really traditional because of the puzzle, but a traditional role-playing turn-based game, so. And then what I like about, oh, there's a toad here. How do we get this toad? I think what I like most about how, especially when you're talking about the paper mache, like how they have taken paper to I guess the concept to a next level. And they've done this since, and again, Boomer over here, since TTYD, where you as Paper Mario were able to switch over to like a paper airplane, a paper boat, or whatever. And so it's nice seeing like the different implementations of paper, because paper mache actually making a 3D model of a Gooba. Like, I actually think that's really clever, and I like it. And I think the other thing I would call out, there is a fast travel system to this game, that you actually travel through fax machines. Like, again, that's another implementation on paper, which I think is amazing.
That's a really cool introduction.
Yep.
Like the idea of just Mario going through a fax machine, and I don't know, was it? I feel like somebody had like mentioned something like it's like, I don't know, what was that movie where it's like, you know, like you travel through something and it like creates a new copy of you, but like the old copy is still left behind there, and then that gets destroyed or something.
It sounds
So
very
like,
Rick and Morty-ish. Like, I feel like there was an episode talking about that specifically.
I think it might be like a horror game called Soma or something that was like that, where it was like to travel through a new area, you would go through like a teleporter, but like it's like you're transported to like a new consciousness, and the old you is like destroyed behind.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds actually really cool, but really creepy too.
Well, yeah, it's a horror game, Jim.
Wow. Like, it could be disturbing. It doesn't have to be creepy in general. Because then you have to think about it. Like, is that other person destroyed? Like, was that like the original you, and then like the next person of you is just an iteration of you that can never fully be you?
Like, keep in mind, I haven't played that game or like seen much of it in like half a decade, so I don't know too much about it. It may not even come out in half a decade. I don't remember too much.
It's technically already been like 2 decades. Man, you're really showing our age now, for Jesus. I think we jump over here. No, we don't jump over there. How do we get to that Soma conversation? Oh yeah. As far as like destroying with the fax machine, the
like,
fax cell wording.
Obviously, Mario isn't going to go that dark where it's like, oh, there was another Paper Mario, and he was, and the Toad afterwards just like, yeah, well, I guess I'm going to cut this guy up.
But then, okay, so I know we're getting sidetracked here a little bit, but see, wouldn't that actually be perfect to explaining why the universe has changed so much? And that's how they introduce old games like TDYD back to the fray. I was like, oh, this Mario that got destroyed in the fax machine actually just got teleported to the TTYD universe, and boom, different strains.
Well, I mean, with things like Super Paper Mario, we already have like this idea of different dimensions and things like that.
Right, exactly. See, there we
Like,
go.
just,
Nintendo.
Like, that game just went way out there, and, like ditched the whole original universe, pretty much.
Yep. But it just goes to show you, like, there it is, and you got to give credit where credit is due. There are so many ideas you can do with just the paper concept, and that's why, like, especially with the Origami King, I give credit where credit is due. They actually do really implement some really cool ideas into this game. That being said, and I am still debating with it. I'm still not entirely sure how I feel about the combat system, because, and I've talked to you about it before too, Forrest, where especially like with the ring aspect of it, I don't ever feel that I win a battle, that I just solve the battle, which is not bad in any sense of the word. But whereas you have older turn-based styles, there was different strategies you could implement, plain and simple. Like you can, like, oh, I want to do a no item run, or I want to do a certain badge run, or whatever. You don't really get that with this game. This one is just like, hey, solve it the way it's meant to be solved and move on, you know?
Well, I mean, like, one of the ideas I've heard is like the idea of people challenging themselves by not using equipable items, just using the base 2 items. Which is kind of similar, I think, to a kind of run that I did with Super Paper Mario, which was like the no leveling run, where you avoid trying to kill anything and gain any levels as much as possible to keep your attack super low. Like, there is that aspect that you can go for in a game like this, where you aren't, where you limit yourself in terms of items.
Right, and there's been also like no limit runs in like past, I guess, games and that. But I could definitely see, like, yeah, I mean, you can limit yourself to 2 items, but then like besides that, I guess what else are you gonna do? Like no coin run and all that.
What if you did like a Sticker Star Color Splash type run where you only use you can only use item type weapons. You cannot use your base weapons.
You could only use items. Actually, that'd be kind of fun, actually. But yeah, that's just one of those where, again, I'm not saying I disagree with the battle system, because it's been a different feeling of like, oh man, like I just went through a tough battle. Like, I'm glad I implemented this strategy of like, hey, I feel like an idiot that I can't solve this puzzle. Oh, I solved this puzzle. I feel like a genius, you know?
Now, one thing that I've noticed is that looking at these battles, like there was one instance, I think, where you encountered like the same Goomba. You know, the one there was like a Galumba that was like pushing that spiked ball.
Oh,
You fought that guy twice, and I noticed like the puzzle was the absolute identical one that you had with him the first time you fought him. So I've kind of been wondering, does that mean that every individual enemy, like you see, like a particular Goomba that always appears in like the same area, if that like particular Goomba will always give you the same puzzle, or
I'd imagine so. Oh, go ahead.
So I'm like wondering, is there a pool that they choose from the puzzles, or is it like each individual has like their own particular puzzle that is always the same?
See, I'd have. Oh, go ahead.
I know with like the you know, like the forced encounters, like the ones where it's like it happens in a cutscene and you're forced into a battle. I'm sure that those ones are all exactly the same every time. So, like, so in a sense, there's like a limited number of puzzles. That's like every battle has like been constructed for the same sort of puzzle. If that makes sense.
Right. I mean, I would have to imagine that every particular, I guess, programmed enemy, so like talking about that one Galumba, I would imagine would have the same puzzle format of it, because then you make the argument in previous games of if you face the same Goomba in the same stretch or whatever, it would only ever really spawn the same enemy, the same number of enemies, very rarely. And there was like particular, because I'm thinking of, I think of the one that you're probably thinking of it was Twilight Town and the forest when you ran into the Amazing Daisy, the golden one. That was the only real time there was a different variance of like how many different enemies were there, or different types of enemies. But for the most part, if you actually like really pay attention, most of the time if you ran into the same enemy, they would have the same amount of enemies or same type of enemies. There wasn't really that much of a variance.
Yeah, I kind of want to say that like there are some, but then it's like I know specifically like in chapter 7 of like That Was in Your Door, like when you're going to the snowy place, there were like specific piranha plants that would always spawn like 4 of them.
Right.
So I can understand. So that might be the case here, where it's like it's tied to like the individual like sprite or something.
Yeah,
a
exactly.
particular type of encounter.
Which again, I mean, it's not necessarily a fault, because I mean, I still have trouble of thinking about it to this day. But then like I think about it, it's like designing a game is hard, dude. And so the fact that like we get what we get, and then I know we criticize, but we criticize not necessarily because like, oh my god, like how dare you make such a piece of shit a game. No, it's not that. It's that, hey, like we have suggestions of possibly making the game better. We understand the vision that you had. We understand like how hard it is to make a video game in general. But there, I mean, I feel like, hey, if you are really passionate about this stuff, you also want your stuff to be better no matter what, you know? So
I mean, like personally, with regards to this combat system, although I haven't done it, I would, at this point, say I would say I really like it. I actually really do enjoy it and don't have any problems with it, because I'm sort of, my sort of approach to this game has been to look at it in the same way that I would Super Paper Mario, in which I'm just accepting the fact that it is going to play completely different compared to like Paper Mario or Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, and I'm okay with it.
right.
Like, it's the other aspects of the game that I'm more interested in seeing, like related to story and characters and environments and music, and also like bosses, and you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like I kind of agree with you more on the Super Paper Mario aspect of it, on Origami King, again, just because I'm still really early into it. Like the jury's still kind of out, because again, it's not like I hate it, but it's still getting used to it. But specifically with Super Paper Mario, as I tell multiple people, is like, it is a fantastic, amazing game. I recommend it to everybody. But to this day, and I say this to everybody, I still don't necessarily consider it a Paper Mario game.
Yeah, I could definitely understand that, right?
Right.
It changes up so much from the original. Like, aesthetically, it has a lot of the same aesthetics as Paper Mario. But, like, the gameplay to it is just completely, drastically different.
And again, it's not a bad thing. Like, again, I enjoyed the heck out of it. And oh my god, what they did to my main man Luigi, oh my god, I loved it so much. So
Luigi is fantastic in that game.
he's fantastic in every game. He just doesn't get the shine he deserves. Damn it.
Bowser 2, which is one of the other important things, I think, for this game, which will... Like, I think so far they've done an excellent job with how they introduced Bowser early. He's clearly got, like, a fun, interesting personality compared to, like, say, Sicker Star in Color Splash. I'm not sure how much he was in Color Splash. I feel like he wasn't in it enough.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
So, like, but I feel like there's a good chance he'll get his time to shine. Like, teasers have hinted at it, I think, like, you know, like the trailers sort of thing. There's like hints to that. Like, we'll see him again, obviously. But.
Well, I have no doubt that we'll see him again, but and definitely this is going to be the cynic in me, but been in this industry long enough that's like, oh, trailers, they're a lot more deceiving than you give credit for. So 2 moves here, we'll do that and then do that. All right, so from here, I guess, so it doesn't feel like we're bashing on the game completely. What are like 2 to 3 other things you think this game does really well, or that you love seeing so far?
So one thing I will say, I have seen this chapter in its entirety, and I will actually say that in terms of overall Paper Mario chapters, this may be one of my favorites.
Now, favorites in all of Paper Mario history?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm willing to go that far with what I have seen in this.
Okay, you got me excited now. Okay.
Yeah, but I will not give any details on why, but I think some people could probably guess if they have actually seen this, why I might love this particular chapter so much.
Aw, the dragon's crying. That's so sad.
Like, and one other thing, like, the music is just absolutely amazing in this game. Like, by the time, like, I have to fight myself so hard not to go on YouTube to, like, search up the soundtrack to it, because I know that that's going to lead to me getting spoiled on the story for the rest of it. But, like, it's so amazing what they've done with it, and especially with things like the battles. Like, the fact that they are doing, I think, like, 2 different tracks per chapter or something, like, for regular battles. It makes a world of difference. And also, I think the battle music changes sort of depending on how you, like, do the battle or something like that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, how you encounter them. Like, it's all the little things that add up. And it's... Also, I just love the whole style of music they go for in this chapter.
Yeah. Well, what I've also noticed from, like, the music too, and because, you know, I definitely analyze music way more than I should, especially with the intro, there's actually a lot of how to put this in layman's terms so people don't, like, get confused. There's a lot of themes that I could definitely hear, like, wow, that sounds very Paper Mario 64 or Paper Mario Color Splash or Paper Mario TTYD. So I would kind of agree with you that this definitely does hit home when it comes to music, because as much, and again, like, I know we're talking about positive stuff, but it's like, as much as I wish this game implemented more just Paper Mario stuff from the overall generations, even though the game doesn't do that, the music definitely does. So,
like, one of the things that, like, with Paper Mario that I always kind of want is sort of like that feeling of being, like, in areas that don't feel generic, right? That's kind of like the feeling that I got when looking at a game like like Sticker Star. Like it felt like it was following the same sort of like 2D Mario formula of like grass, desert, just generic sort of areas, regions, that sort of thing. And I don't want to talk too much about Color Splash because I feel like it was trending a lot in a better direction in terms of that regards. But so I'm not going to criticize that one at all for that. And I think with this one, they've done a really good job of like setting like the areas and the environments. And another thing that also helped is the fact that they've got like a cohesive world as opposed to like the level select situation that you have for like Sticker Star or Color Splash. Like that aspect of like, sort of just like traveling, exploring the world, and it all like connects. That makes a huge difference.
It does.
And that would also bring me towards like the environments, like, and just how they use all the environments. Also, I kind of want to mention Toads too, because the way that they have implemented Toads is fantastic in this game, and I love it. And I think part of it might also go back to sort of like for me with like Banjo-Kazooie type games, and like I've got to collect everything, like so like collect all these toads and gather them up, and they hide them in creative ways, and they give them witty dialogue. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much more about this, and I want to give you a chance to say what you like about it.
Well, I was going to say feel free, because I'm definitely not struggling with this puzzle. No, I got it solved. No, that's the only thing I could see, but does 2 in a row work?
I was actually going to say that in doing... Oh my gosh, you've actually got it, and you just have... Or unless you have only one move.
Yeah, I only have one move. Like, literally, that's why I was so confused. Like, does 2 in a row work? But there's nothing I saw... Like, let's go back to the drawing board. And for people watching the video version of this, yes, cheating is... We're not above cheating here at Paper Thin Podcast. Again, our answers are very paper thin. But, like, there was no way... Because, okay, so seeing this, 2 moves, I'm thinking you have to get them in a 4. So there was no way. Oh, I hate you, Forrest. Give me a second.
You slide the crab at the top down, so it is beside the one that's.
Oh my god, I hate you so much, Forrest. I hate you so much. This is your fault.
I didn't actually see it until you like zoomed in on it there. And then it was like, bam, I got it.
Okay, there we go.
But I was actually going to say that in doing the podcast, you actually are doing a lot better in combat than. When you were doing it solo.
You see, and I wasn't trying to like jinx it, because I even thought that too, and I was going to mention in the podcast. I was like, nah, I'm going to see if I can keep this going, and then this battle happens. So now something says I'm going to take obvious damage here. I am going to see, because these guys have the claws, so I wonder if an iron boot is still required, or if I could just do a regular boot. So this is the test of life. Yep, an iron boot is still required. Okay, see, there you go. It was worth it. That was tactical. I actually did it on purpose. So, all right. So things that I like about this game, and it's not that I'm running out of good things to say. I'm going to preface it here. It's because I actually think it's a really cool addition to it. So I don't know if you knew, but to make every one of these origami characters, and more specifically to make sure the animations were correct, they actually made these origami figures in real life. So you can take anybody from the crab to the to Goombas to technically Princess Peach. Every single one of those are accurate on how they're folded and the way they were folded. I just think that's such a cool thing, because they didn't need to do that, and they did that, and I thought that was like really, really cool.
Well, I mean, it's that kind of love and attention to detail that makes a game really good. Right. So that's what, like, just hearing that alone is like an extremely promising sign for how the rest of the game will be.
Right, exactly.
Knowing that this kind of love and attention went into it.
So that's one, and I say that because I don't want you to think, well, you're not talking about the actual game, you're talking about something else. I think, no, I honestly, I was mind blown by that. That was like, that's my number one spot. The fact that they went to that attention of detail. Second thing, I don't want... Okay, now this was going to be like, I don't want to just mimic everything you just said about it, but I actually really do enjoy the music. I'm going to put that as part 1A, so that way people don't think it's like, oh yeah, you don't have anything to talk about. No, I have a lot to talk about. But that's part 1A. I would have to say
Music
that
is good enough that it deserves to be talked about more than once.
exactly.
Oh, this is going to be fun for you.
I'm usually really good at these because actually my grandma would always go to like dollar stores and get me these sliding puzzles. So usually I'm really good because the trick is you just keep moving till it works. So
Oh, so descriptive.
so descriptive.
I'm really good at these because I did all of them in Wind Waker.
Oh, and Wind Waker, Mr.
You remember there was like the cabana and there was like that sliding puzzle there? I did it, so all different variations of it.
Right, exactly. But okay, what else? I do like, and I'm gonna kind of put an asterisk on this. I do like the almost return to form on the writing. I say almost because there are like still some gaps, but I do like the humor that it brings back. Not exactly to form because, and I talked about this with you in private, but I still remember that one time where you're talking to the punies down in the caves, and then it's like, you're not bullies, are you? And then you actually got a chance to respond as Mario to say, think again, nerd. You don't really get that in this game, and I get why you don't, because again, you don't want to necessarily tarnish the Mario image, I guess, if we're gonna put a name to it.
You might need to find like the actual piece before you can finish this.
Oh, I can't just do it? That's lame.
You remember the last time you did one of these, right? You had to find the piece before you could put it in.
Let's say I do. I was just gonna do it until it worked. Thanks, Forrest. But yeah, what was I saying though? Yeah. So, but the return to form and writing, and partially, so far there has not been a line that Olivia has said that I haven't enjoyed. Olivia has definitely returned to form. I do like some of like the little quips with especially Bob or Bob, since he doesn't remember his name, on the train. Like if he decides like, nah, I'm good. Like how he's like continuously being more and more like, I want to join, I want to join. Those little branching dialogue trees that again maybe only 20% of people will see, but they still cared enough to put it in. That's definitely a good
one. Other one I think I can think of is there's like that Monty mole that is selling you like the shell stone, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you can keep on refusing to get him to go lower.
I didn't know that. I just paid the money right out. Because I had enough. Right, yeah, I had the money at that point because I had nothing else to buy it up. So I was like, like what was it, 10,000 coins, 100,000 coins, whatever it was. I was like, hey, I have that money. Cool, I'll just buy it. So
do you want to hear how low you can talk him down to?
Knowing Paper Mario, I could probably get it down to like 1 coin, probably.
300.
300. Okay, it's not bad. So.
Yeah, if you go lower than that, the Koopas will then swoop in to buy it.
Oh, it's like, I'll buy for 300. It's like sold.
But you have to figure that, given the fact that it's like really precious to them, that they would eventually swoop in to buy it.
See, but then I would hope that. So I kind of wonder where that dialogue tree went then. So did they actually put the stone back?
Like I don't know. I think like thing is I don't know what happens after that. Like maybe you have to buy the stone from the Koopas or something, and maybe then it's like expensive again.
Yeah, again, like you couldn't do anything less than 10,000. That's funny. I don't think it's back here. I'm going back.
Probably not. Although there was that coin there that you didn't get, and there's.
Yeah, but I can't double jump. I don't have the ability.
You might have to go forward in this room and then come back to reset the blocks.
Oh, okay. See, Forrest always solving puzzles. There you go. What else though? Oh yeah, so I would say yeah, definitely in that sense, the writing is definitely a return to form. And just the little things like you were talking about, the paper mache. I mentioned fax machine. Really love the fax machine. That's actually probably one of my favorite things of like, hey, paper, this is a thing. Like that makes sense. You can't make that jump. Oh, haha, I see. Don't worry. I got it. I got this first. I'm not completely out of it. Okay, but for the audio listeners, okay, do we want to move over to our critiques?
Okay, so critiques of it. Okay, you might have more to say on that than me so far, given the fact you've been playing it. Right?
Yeah, probably. So I guess I can start off if you want.
Yes.
Okay, so I think my major critique, and I guess you can kind of say I contradicted myself here because you even said that, oh, big spender over here. I generally don't believe, as of right now, that there's any reason to ever try to get into a random encounter. You can make the argument for money, and that's how I had enough money to actually just buy that thing right out. The Earth Elemental Orb or whatever. But besides that, with there not being an XP system, no real benefit besides sometimes confetti and then mainly coins, that there's no reason to get into a random encounter. For me specifically, even though I say that, the reason why I wouldn't say necessarily enjoy random encounters, but I've been like, I need to do these, is because, kind of like I mentioned earlier, I'm just really bad at these puzzles apparently. So I just I need to get my mind back into shape of like, hey, this is a puzzle. How do you solve this puzzle? Good, you solved this simple puzzle. Good job. So for me, that's the benefit I got. But for people that are apparently are just Einstein in disguise or whatever, they don't need that practice. They don't need that part. They just want some of the reward, which you don't really get that with battles. I've already kind of mentioned it as far as the writing being somewhat back to form. It's still not completely there, in the sense of that you still don't really... I got 3 moves. You still don't really have the pure comedic talent of Mr. Mario, Jumpman Mario. So I would say that is another big thing for it. Other than that, I think those are the only real critiques I have. There's other little things, but every game has a little thing that oh, you're just not about, you know. But I think those are the main things that I generally take issue with.
Yeah, so you kind of covered one of the ones that I would mention, which is I think what you're going with, which is that sort of your own sort of individual input going into the game, your own sort of interactions, oh, I want to say this sort of dialogue option. I feel like there's been less of it so far. There have been some instances, so I don't want to rule it out entirely, but I could definitely say that there's been less of that so far.
Yeah, definitely.
And, part of me is also wondering sort of how far this particular combat system will go. I'm sure that there's my concerns with this game are almost more of towards a future Mario game than the Mario game itself. I feel with this sort of formula, it's good where it is right now. For this particular game in the future, I feel you have to go somewhere completely different with the series for, a sequel. It doesn't feel like this is one that is necessarily gonna offer itself up well to being we're going with this exact style again in the next game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, I would agree with you only in the sense of it seems that in that one interview that we had mentioned that it seems that the lead designer of this game feels like they need to do something new and fresh every time. So I would agree with you, not necessarily because I would disagree with you in the sense of I would want that for one of the older games, and specifically TTYD. But for this game, if we're talking about Origami King, I could definitely see the system being expanded in certain ways. But I mainly see it as introduce a new system, but still keep the system as I guess in ways you would understand it as a crystal star. You know what I mean? You all of a sudden turn the battlefield into a puzzle field if you feel like you can't outright beat the enemy. So you do some sort of ability where it allows you to switch it over to a puzzle to see if you can solve the puzzle, you know?
Yeah, right. Now, one of my other things I was going to get to, this isn't necessarily a criticism of this, game. It's kind of almost more one of the things to do with, going this sort of puzzle-based direction, is the fact that there's probably going to be, a certain, there's like a limit with puzzles in a sense where it's like there's not going to be quite the same sense of replayability. I feel like there's a like maybe for some people you'll just forget the puzzles like over time, but for me like it's like almost like I'm wondering how this game will do in terms of replayability. Like, so I feel like it's the kind of thing that will feel the same almost every time. Although, as I listed like previously, like there are definitely going to be challenges that you can do to make things more interesting and complicated for yourself. But it was one of the concerns. But it may just prove. I'm going to give this game the benefit of the doubt in the sense that I think it deserves the opportunity to show just how far it can go with this type of gameplay.
Right.
How interesting and dynamic they can expand upon it, and how many possible puzzles there could be. Because maybe there will just be so many puzzles to the point where, replaying it, you're not even going to remember most of these, and it's going to feel new and unique in a sense. Like, if that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like I see what you mean, where there's just so many possibilities that eventually just doesn't inhibit of you getting bored, essentially.
Like, I guess sort of what I'm going with is almost more of like with a Zelda game, for instance. Like, there's only like one time you will ever approach the puzzles in that game the first time, so that like once you've done it, it's kind of feels like a solved thing. Like, that's kind of the thing with puzzles, is that, like, once you've done it, with some puzzle games, it's like, once you've done it once, it's then, like, okay, not gonna do it again.
Right? Like, you've done it once, you've seen it all, so...
So then it kind of depends on the game's ability to sort of, like, the other aspects. Are those strong enough that they will make you want to play it a second time, or a third time?
Yeah, the replayability or whatever. So I guess it kind of like trying to go off that same mindset. If you were trying to develop a way to expand this, I guess it's going to be more like careful what you wish for type of thing. Like, I would maybe like to see a almost kind of like a layer aspect to it. So like maybe actually see like, okay, you have one ring, then you have a second ring up top to like worry about. That'd be kind of interesting to see. So.
Well, I mean, what if that actually does exist in this game? What if there actually is a point where you start having these platforms like lifted up or something?
That would be crazy, dude.
So, like, that's the thing, is it's like, I don't want to judge, like, a lot of things too harshly yet at this point, because I feel that there's so many ways that this game will just prove me wrong on that.
Right. And at the end of the day, that's why, like, you gotta fully play it and then just see, or fully watch it in your case, and then just kind of see exactly where it leads you, then make the, I guess, assessment there. But I also do feel in certain cases, not saying Origami King is one of these cases, but there are some games that you see and that you just know, like, oh, okay, you saw the first hour, you saw the next 15 hours, you know? And again, I'm not saying Origami King's there, but, and I hope it's not. I hope I continue to be surprised. And how did, okay, I'm gonna take some damage here. Ooh, 20. I might die. No, because these guys are like, we'll do separate. We're good. I think I'm gonna show one of, okay, so last thing that I'm positive of. No, I'm not gonna use healing ability. I am going to cheer. I'm gonna have, oh, okay, I thought you meant actually use like a mushroom. It's like, no, I made it rain. I have all these toads come out, and they're gonna like throw stuff at my enemies, and they're gonna throw hearts at me, and we're good.
I wonder if there's any sort of possible way where you could pay 999 coins for a toad, and they just won't throw a heart for you.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I actually, once I get a little bit farther into this game,
that kind of RNG is possible.
Right. I also eventually, once I get a little farther into the game, I actually want to test to see if I could win a battle just having cheer for toads. See if they throw out enough damage that they just take out the enemies.
Oh man, a toad-only run.
Toad-only run. That would take so much coinage, though, when you think about it.
Yeah, I don't even think you could actually afford a toad-only run, because I don't think you get enough coins in battles
right.
to do it.
Oh man, look at all that confetti. All that delicious confetti that we don't need, but I'm still taking it all, so.
Yeah, it's just that cool collector's thing. What do you think of the confetti system?
It's like Color Splash, where it doesn't really matter. So let's say I do, for some reason, run out of confetti. I'm like, damn, I gotta go fight somebody. Or I can go find a tree, hit it 10,000 times, and then be full on confetti. Unfortunately, it just really doesn't matter. It's a cool aspect, and it's more, I say it's more aesthetically pleasing than strategically and mechanically pleasing. Oh my god, this is what I've been waiting for. Oh, you have no idea, Forrest. Like, I retweeted this. Some guy did God's work and recorded him sitting down having a cup of coffee to the Persona 5 like lounge song, and he actually put the Persona date on like the top left corner. It was amazing. Like, literally, I think it's a secret right here. Yes.
Do,
Do, do, do, do, do. We try and keep this place secret. Well, you couldn't even get in here because, like, literally the door, I had to make the door. Does that mean I made a whole different dimension? Like, what does this mean? Okay, anyways. But yeah, so that being said, it's, I don't know. Obviously, we're only not even to the second ribbon, so things can change along the way. But so far, I'm enjoying it. Yes, do I wish we would have got an old school Mario, but I'm not taking anything away from this Mario yet. We'll see how time goes, but yeah. So I guess moving into the next thing, how do you feel this game could have been implemented in a TTYD aspect? And I say that because I even kind of already mentioned it a little bit. How cool would it have been to have a special ability or a crystal star where you didn't think you could win, so you used it, so you set up a puzzle aspect to try to take him out of that aspect? I think that's one way the puzzle aspect could have been implemented into a standard RPG like TTYD. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it's honestly something that, who knows, maybe it could be implemented in a future adaptation. Maybe they want to keep this sort of style going forward, and you just add it in, and you also want to satisfy fans by going back to 1,000-Year Door style, so maybe you keep something like this, and you have like that special sort of ability that you can use. Like, you go into like ring battle mode or something.
Right.
Like, it would actually be like interesting if you had like sort of different layers to the battle. Like, you have both like 1,000-Year Door, and you also have like a ring aspect to it. Like, and you could switch, but you would switch between them. And maybe like in boss battles, like you enter like a ring-based phase, that sort of thing. Like, then you could have some of the old and the new implemented at the same time.
Okay, real quick, can I just say this definitely did a +2 to the writing. You literally have Mario's enemies asking Mario who's the best enemy to take out Mario. Literally, it's like, yeah, Goobas, we're the first legit face, right? It's us. Like, and the Shy Guy's like, no, man. Like, even the guy who's attacking you now, he was dressed up as a Shy Guy. It makes sense. It's like, can't you, daughter? Sorry, Mario. These two are always going at it like this. Goobas and Shy Guys. Like, okay, this definitely did a +2 to my thoughts of the writing. And again, I don't mind that. I love that. But give Mario some love, man. I have thoughts. I have feelings. Maybe it's like, hey, it's neither one of you guys. You know who I'm scared of? Booze. I hate. No, actually, if this is an oldie but a goodie, only like old school fans will understand. I have a problem with fuzzies. I really do not like fuzzies. I hate fuzzies. So.
Oh, the way they just like latch onto you.
Oh yeah, and it's not even from that. Like, don't get me wrong, that TTYD did make that worse. But I actually first encountered them in Super Mario World. And, anyways. And yeah, so I kind of agree with you. I really do hope that they do implement it in a future series, because it's not a bad mechanic. But to focus the entire game on it. I guess that's where my personal problem comes with.
I mean,
And,
once you get to the boss fight of here, we'll get to see even more of the aspect of it.
right, exactly. So, and I'm assuming by you saying that I'm close, so I'm gonna start pushing forward. Here we go. And now we got this magic stone of life.
It depends how long you take on this sliding puzzle. Like, maybe you'll take like an hour on this.
Yo, okay, like I don't need your BM here, okay? I'm gonna solve it in like 5 seconds here.
Bam, solved.
What they have been. I guess we have to work at it some more. Okay, I get you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. We got it. Okay. So yeah. So, like I stated, I do honestly feel that things don't necessarily need to change. Like, things can grow, become better, but still stay true to its core principles, you know? And that's how I will always feel about just the Paper Mario series in general. Yes, implement that new stuff, but don't change what's not broken. People love something to begin with. But then that also brings up the argument, because people were talking about ratings the other day, and it actually is a fairly decent argument. Did you know back in the day, TTYD ended up getting a 6 out of 10 on Game Informer?
Like, when was that?
When the game launched.
Well, I didn't really know about it, but I mean, I could understand it given the fact that it's something that's like so different. Like, it's something that we hold the pinnacle, but I feel like, you know, it's the kind of thing that, like a lot of other things, like Super Paper Mario, could throw people off. But so maybe somebody just didn't like the aesthetic of it.
Right, but I mean, I guess that's kind of like my argument there, where there was enough like backlash back in the day where people were like, no, like this game clearly wasn't. But then all of a sudden, and I hate to call TTYD this, but in a lot of ways that is what it's becoming. What if it's a cult classic? What if there is a very vocal fan base but a very minor fan base that love the game, you know? And Nintendo sees the overall fan base of it, and they're like, oh, well, it's only a very minor part of it. Sales show that these other games are doing better. Just keep going with that, you know? I honestly missed that text. Do I have to redo the puzzle, or?
It says you have to line them all up. You're not allowed to take the shortcut of, I'm just gonna ignore like these 5 tiles here.
Well,
and take the straight and simple route.
So funny enough, like originally that's what I was trying to do, and I thought that's what it wanted me to do, because I was looking at like the pieces, and I was like, I don't think there is a way to do it, but okay, I guess it's proving me wrong. There is a way to do it all together, so that's fine. I'll figure it out.
You were right on like where the missing panel needs to go. It has to go in that spot.
I figured as much. So that means there needs to be a curve at the bottom then. So that means I need to move this over here then. Okay. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man.
Yeah, like it's like, in order to, if you're talking about like how this game would work if, say, it were applied in a Paper Mario sense, like the traditional sense, like I could see it working like in that way if they wanted to. Like you could always, like almost all of these, you could just say, oh, I want to change it to like 1,000-Year Door, but like with this one, I feel like its own aesthetic is working for it.
Right.
Like it's not really an RPG. I'm gonna say it's, if it reminds me of anything, like in terms of RPG, it kind of would feel sort of like, you know, Okami, right?
Yeah, Okami.
Okami has like a very similar sort of thing. Like, you know, you have like enemies out in the fields that you could go and fight and do that sort of thing. And I think you also only would get money for battles too. So, in a sense, it's kind of like that, right? Where, right. And also with Okami, I'll also say that I would typically avoid battles out in the field because, like, if it wasn't an actual like quest sort of enemy, I had no incentive to actually go and do those. So, and in fact, I would say, oh wow, nice, you got it.
You doubted me. I told you I was good at these puzzles.
So
I understand your doubt, considering how much trouble I have with the standard
funny
puzzles.
now that I say that, because I was in my mind already kind of thinking of this game as it was kind of like reminding me of Okami, and I hadn't even made the connection in my head of the fact that, oh, the combat system actually kind of works the same in both of them, where it's just for money, and there's not much point doing too many random encounters unless you want a bit of money.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll be honest. I picked up Okami once, got maybe I want to say 20% of the way through, had to sell it, picked it back up, and I think this is a fair assumption of it. The beginning tutorial system drags a little too long for my taste, to the point that every time I go back, but like, yeah, let's do it. And then the tutorial just kind of like, I'll do it later. And then I never come back to it. Like, I still have the game in my drawer. Like, eventually I will get to it, but it's just like, I'll get to it later.
Yeah, well, for me, it was like, I was pretty hyped still. I like played through it for a long time. But it's a really long game, so you know, at a certain point, I actually did like drop it for like a year before going and finishing it.
Right.
Like 2/3 of the way, and then it was like, and then ended up taking up for a long break that just kept on going on, and I was just like, oh, I guess I should actually finish that now.
I should probably finish this game. All right. I'm going to take a little snack break right now. I'm a very, very professional podcast, I know. So.
Oh, are we taking our snack break during the podcast? Or?
Hell yeah. Paper Thin Podcast. We take snack breaks during the podcast.
But yeah, like this game, and like the thing is that Okami is one of my favorite games of all time. So the fact that a game like this, like, would resemble a game that is very near and dear to me, like, I think I love this game, and I think I would, like, I think I will probably love this game as long as they don't, like, you know, muck too much up in like the next 3 or 4 chapters, or however many are left in the game.
Well, so there's 5 ribbons, right? And so
that's why I'm saying 6, because I'm assuming that like the 6th one is going to be at like you go to Peach's castle, because that's like the expected formula I would expect it to follow. Is like you get all the streamers, and then you need to go to Peach's castle.
Right. See, but I want the last streamer to be like a combination of all the streamers, and they're like a rainbow streamer. And I forget what the name is, but they like layer themselves, so you have 3. So then you move the left to the right, right to the left, and then just constantly like weave them. That'd be kind of cool.
That would actually be kind of cool. What if like the path to Peach's castle was made out of the streamers that you had destroyed, or something like that?
Okay.
I mean,
so tangent. Why do all these enemies, because not only Bowser at this point, why are they obsessed not only abducting Princess Peach, but abducting Princess Peach's castle? There's so many games where they literally just take the castle. It's just like, does it not find where it was? Like, do you have a different idea where it should be? I don't get it.
The funny thing about that, I remember, like, my first time playing Paper Mario was like, you know, like a young kid, like 8 or something like that. Like, just being absolutely mind blown, like, seeing, like, Bowser, like, you know, like, defeat Mario, steal the castle, fly it up into the sky on this huge thing. That was, like, just a crazy thing that, like, I never expected to see. Like, it was mind blowing. And that was, like, the first time, wasn't it, I think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the first time they did something like that, at least.
And then that sort of thing happens again and again and again.
Yeah, because I guess you could say the closest thing before
Galaxy
that
2 was also pretty, like, impressive, but that was much later. But that was also still pretty impressive when they stole the castle that time.
Right.
After that, I feel it kind of, like, has become as regular as, you know, kidnapping Peach.
It's his go-to, and then there's that one. Right? Yeah, I like that. That's good. Think that's good. That's good. Yeah, let's do that.
Also, I know I didn't say this when the boss was like appearing, but I really loved the water effects that they had going on there. The water looked super good. The water looks very good in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, I love the vibe it's giving, that's for sure. It's Mario's turn. Okay,
Like,
well,
that ties back into sort of like the amazing things this game has done stylistically. Like with things like water and... oh, you're just going out with the Earth Elemental already.
I mean, I thought that's what I need to do. I don't know. This would really give me a lot of directive. It's just like, hey, attack. It's like, okay, I'll attack. And it didn't do anything. That's good. Okay, cool. I'm excited.
It's an earthquake thing. Unfortunately, it's not like Bowser Your Door, where if you just do the earthquake high enough, it'll hit the guy, even if he's in the air.
Interesting. Okay. Well, good to know. There we go. Now this is going to be like the part of the podcast where visually, sorry guys, hey, if you want to watch this podcast, tune into youtube.com/generation_71. No, it's the generation 71. I don't even remember my own URL. Or if Forrest puts it up on his channel.
Well, basically, we're just talking like this just sort of ties into like sort of the boss battle aspect of Origami, right?
Right. So I guess to explain the boss battle aspect of Origami King is so you still have the ring aspect. Now all of a sudden you are thrown outside of the ring and you have multiple items set up on the different portions of the ring.
A variety of tiles that change things on it, enable you to do certain kind of attacks and abilities. And it like actually they change it up like every single boss battle, at least so far.
Yeah, like I know for a fact this is different, and that's why it's throwing me off. So,
like for instance, I don't believe that they had like an Earth Elemental sort of panel before, right?
As far as this goes.
Yeah, like there wasn't like an Earth Elemental ability you used.
Oh no, because we have that now because we have actually sucked up the Earth Elemental power. But no, before this, no, there was not a panel for it. No, so
yeah, like I mean, you had also done the Earth Elemental like in say before like the previous boss, but
exactly,
like,
yeah,
had 1,000-fold arms for that one.
Yeah, exactly. So, so if he's in the air, I'm supposed to hit him with boots. So let's hit him with boots. And then after that, I hit him with hammer. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if this works. So, but yeah, no, I do really, that didn't do, oh, it did do something. Okay. But I do really like this aspect of fighting because these, even though it's still a puzzle, I still feel like there's another level of strategy. Oh god, I didn't block there. Another level of strategy that I do feel that when I actually, okay, I know this is dangerous, but I don't even get to block it. Oh, okay. Because I know what it's about to do. This is what I saw on the stream, so I know what it's about to, oh, this is when I do the earthquake. Okay. But what was I gonna say?
It might be, is it now or is it later?
I could have sworn it was like right after this. But anyways, so like this segment of the puzzle aspect, I do feel like at this point now there's enough strategy with it where now it does feel like more of a traditional turn-based RPG, even though it's still not necessarily a turn-based RPG. I definitely feel it more with this one. So let's do that.
It's turn-based in terms of the pun.
Do that.
You're actually turning.
Ha ha ha! Turning the turn base. That's so funny.
That joke's been made probably 1,000 times.
That's not what I wanted to do. I just messed up. See? So now I don't blame the puzzle on this. I blame me because I knew, and this isn't completely my fault. Where like in RPGs, that was the aspect of it. You had certain things that, like you knew you mess up if you didn't do something certain. Oh well, maybe 4 was right. Maybe it was next turn because I expected. Oh wait, maybe. Nah, you see. Wait, maybe. Okay, yeah, so it is in this one.
And especially since Olivia also then says like, wow,
called it out.
Fit to burst.
Now the only thing I still haven't been able to analyze was when, like, what areas, like, how do you know what it's going to wash away? I guess that's the only thing I haven't confirmed yet.
Well, it has like those water tornadoes, doesn't it?
Yeah, but how does it choose out of all those water tornadoes? Because it chooses one at random. I just don't know which one it chooses and how it chooses.
I would just assume all of them.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. I was about to say, it doesn't have Earth, but it does. We're good. No, why
Yeah, you just need to give yourself an arrow to get down there.
do I do that? No, what if I do that?
Oh wait, no.
Now, okay, so my question is, if I hit the Earth tile, does it automatically add, or do I just walk past it?
Well, I think you just need to get onto the thing, right?
I think, but I also want to get as much as I can while I can. That's kind of my concern here. I am gonna buy more time.
You're
Yeah, I
running
think
low
this
on
is.
time.
I know. I'm trying to add more time. There you go. 30 seconds. We should be good. So what if we do?
The interesting thing with this part of the fight, whereas like the other battles feel like they have like, there's a perfect solution to those ones. This one is a lot more of individual choice because there's various different actions that you can take. Like, for instance, you don't even have, like, it's implied that maybe you should use the Earth Elemental, but there's still plenty of other actions you can take, and maybe some of them would work better.
Yeah, as much as I wanted the hint, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do actually, or is it what? No, it is what I wanted to do. Yeah. So I'm going to hit the Earth Elemental with the ×2 attack.
Okay. And it looks like it should work out.
We were so concerned for us. I'm not that. I'm good. We're good. Elemental power.
I guess, like, it's a really cool thing, like, with this sort of thing, is that there's so much freedom in this version of the puzzle-based mechanics that it really is like, like choose your own strategy based on like the sort of path that you take.
Right.
And
in a weird way, I almost kind of wish, and it's a give and take. I wish all the battles were like this, but if all the battles were like this, then the boss battle wouldn't be as special,
Well, and it's just that it would make regular fights just take way too long.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's okay with boss battle having each turn sort of take this long because, it's like a special big fight thing, right?
Yeah.
But, like, if you had this sort of style applied, like, man, would you want to avoid regular enemy battles now when it's like, oh, I've got 75 seconds to figure out how to go and jump on a Goomba.
True. That's actually fair. So we'll hit that there. We're going to pick up some knowledge there, or the ×2 because they're weak, actually ×2 there. And then from there we'll go, oh, but we have to hit the on? Interesting. There's no way I can hit the on though, and this version. Interesting.
Maybe there is. Remember, you also have the slide ability.
Oh. And it's funny because we actually talked about that last time, dude. Jesus. Because I forgot you could actually do that.
Funny. It's like one of those things that kids you'll just forget when you do this.
Well, that changes the game now. I need to buy more time. No, I don't need to go sleep mode. I need to buy more time. 38 seconds. We're good.
Just spending a minute, like, thinking of it, and then it's just like, oh wait, there's one other thing I forgot I could do, and now it changes everything.
It changes everything. And now, honestly, it does. It really does. Because, I mean, you can attest to it where now, like, there's just so much more options that you didn't even think about. Because now I can get that on there, but then, in a sense, also takes away one of my moves. So I have to implement it in a way where it's beneficial to me. So it definitely adds another layer to it. So let's go that way.
I'd be curious to see what this game would look like in terms of speed running it.
I also wonder what will happen if I do this.
Like, just imagine seeing this game done as like a speed. Also, I don't see an arrow going down into the thing, and you're out of time almost.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm just curious. I am really generally curious. I just want to know. Does it just stop at the hand? It just stops at the hand? Oh, it does. Oh, okay. Interesting. So I was about to say, is that a soft lock, or do I just constantly go in a circle? What happens? So,
Like if you removed like the attack button from there, maybe.
well, maybe that's
You want-
going to be my job now. Not necessarily to win, but to break the game.
Do you want to try and set up like a ring position where it'll force you to just go in a circle forever?
I kind of want to do that, actually. Is it productive? No. Is it interesting? Yes.
Like, I wonder if they've set it up so that's not possible.
That's what I'm thinking, but I'm curious now. Okay, so this first one...
Like, for instance, like here you see there's like the one arrow that forces you to go down with the horizontal arrow there. So like you would have to get rid of that one, or set yourself up to loop on like a lower ring.
And then from there, what if I did... Because what stops... No, yeah, because every forward arrow, there's something that counters it. Because you can't just jump onto... Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's actually... Okay, like, again, like, I may sometimes be overcritical of things, but that takes some forward thought. Like, to make sure your game doesn't get soft locked that way, that takes a lot of thought.
What happens if you were to slide... you see where there's the...
Okay, well, I'm gonna screenshot it, and then we'll go from there, so that way I don't run out of time.
Okay, so you see where there's the arrow that is forcing you to go down, right?
Forcing me to
Like
go
on the
down.
outside.
So you're talking about, like, bottom right? Like,
yeah, like
this one
at
over
the
here?
bottom of the ring, like that one. there.
Yeah.
So, like, could you slide that so that, you know, you would then be able to just go around in circle, or maybe just keep going back in the circle?
No, because if I remember, yeah, you see there is the one way. Maybe.
But that's a horizontal arrow, right?
Maybe. Okay.
So it
Okay.
might just send you... I'm curious, what happens if you just keep going back and forth? Does Mario just get tired after a while and then just shrug?
He just was like, I'm done. All right, let's find out. So if we slide that,
Like that.
I'm curious. Yeah, and let's
And then
just.
go.
How do we confirm? Do we just do this constantly? Okay.
And let's see what happens.
Okay,
How
there we
far
go
can
back.
Mario go?
Well, as you can see, it looks like the arrows like only get used one, so I guess I trip it. Yeah, he gets tripped up. Oh man. Well,
Okay,
that's
so
still
we-
good design.
Yeah. Because it would be really stupid if you had it set so Mario will run around in time.
Well, okay, it would have been stupid, but I would have actually appreciated if it did go in circles like 3 times, and then eventually Mario just shrugs, be like, "Yeah, no, I tap out." All right. So we solved that mystery. Okay, let's play serious now. So let's see this.
Yeah, you actually have to win this.
I mean, we don't have to. Would we like to? Sure, but we don't have to. So that's round 1, right?
Also, he's got a lot more of those water tornadoes now.
Yeah, I wonder. Is this round 1 or round 2? And I forget. Like, do I still have one more round I can survive?
He only is going to attack once he has like the blue, water kind of surrounding him.
Oh, does he?
Containers. So he's fine right now.
Oh, he's fine. Okay, so I can go with the just attack, not the elemental, right?
Yeah, you're fine.
See,
So wait a turn.
Forest Falcon, always my coach. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm good with everything. We're good. Wash away.
Ooh, nice. And everything just stacks up there.
Yep. So we're gonna go with the boots and then the hammer.
Yeah, and it's cool the way they have it set, so it's like the actions you do, like change up how the boss is, positioned, like jumping on him, lowers him down, and then... Like, they do that with regular enemies, too. Like, that's something that I guess is carried over from other Paper Marios, too, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. So yeah, no, if I give props to anything, definitely give props for the boss battles. The boss battles, even so, it's a spoiler to the general public, but they don't know that. Like, this isn't a boss battle. It's actually a mini boss battle, but it's treated as a boss battle, which I appreciate.
Like, I personally, I don't really regard, like, if I see, like, this kind of style for a boss fight, I just consider it a boss fight. Like I wouldn't consider it a mini boss, just because I feel like this just feels like a boss. Like, it doesn't feel like there's anything really that mini about it, if that makes sense.
Right. Oh, but I have to take into account the stupid tornadoes of water, apparently.
Like, it's not a chapter in boss. It's like basically the thing. Right?
Yeah, it's not a chapter in boss, exactly. Oh. Things have escalated. No. No, I'm at least gonna hit this to get something out of it. And hit that.
So, question: have you made use of the toads during these fights?
The boss battle, no. And now that you say that, I might have to actually try it. But
also, what were you going for with this particular round?
I thought I had one more move. I was gonna hit with not that. I was trying to get just a POW in, but okay.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it looks like you need some health.
I mean,
Dodge it.
but we're fine. We're good. All we need to do is really dodge him, and then we're good. And maybe we'll get a heart in the process, you know? Like, Heart City is the best city. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I can pull this off. I think I can. I believe I can. Okay, I have 2 moves left. No, because that heart. Okay, so we're gonna go for audible here. We're actually gonna put the heart there. We're gonna go for another audible here. We're gonna... No, that doesn't work. Okay. Sorry, heart. Actually, can we still make this work? No, because that won't work. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, also have to give yourself like a... Okay, you got a path like down.
Okay, so we'll do...
First and foremost, make sure you got a path to like the earth elemental.
Yeah. And yes, I'm gonna buy more time. Don't worry, if you're about to freak out, we're good. Actually, I might still... I might use the toads. This is a great time to use toads. Toads are the best. Nothing happened. Okay, good to know. I get the heart. But we still have to somehow get to the Volumental, which is not this route. Or is it this route? Yeah, we'll do that route. That's the only route we really have. Okay. Man, yeah, these things, yeah. Again, I have really started really enjoying the boss and mini boss battles.
Yeah, it's one of the best parts of the game, for sure. Like, it shows sort of like where this sort of combat style really can shine. And I also like the way that, you know, they're going to be implementing things like, you know, using the power of these elementals. I assume that you'll probably get to use like the dragon maybe in a later boss fight at some point.
That would be kind of cool.
And then, you know, also like the 1,000-fold arms, that thing too. Also, what do you think of the 1,000-fold arms?
A little janky when it comes to the motion controls, but I know you can turn them off, so I'm sure they're fine.
Now, one thing I'm wondering, do you think that the fact that they called it 1,000-fold arms had anything to do with 1,000-year door?
No, as much as I love a good conspiracy theory, no, I think that's stretching it a bit.
But it's the same number of letters for it, too.
It's
like
the same number of letters, same number
arms.
of, like, syllables, probably. Nah, I honestly...
It's in the same series.
It's the same series.
You're telling me that they didn't do that as, like, a throwback? Like,
no, because that means they would have to acknowledge the series, which they would never do, so...
But why else would you decide to call it 1,000-fold? as opposed to like, I don't know, just fold the arms or whatever.
Well, this is gonna sound like really, really like, how to say it, really dark, I guess. But Japanese lore actually has a torture ritual of cutting people 1,000 times, but in small cuts for them to bleed out. I'm not saying that's what this was inspired about, but there's a lot of references to 1,000, the number 1,000.
Time.
Yeah, well, I did what I could do. I was trying to get the +1 action somehow in it, but it is what it is. So, let's go shiny boots. Shiny boots, yeah.
I mean, it would be interesting if in an interview they asked them, "What? Where did you come up with the name 1,000-Year Folds?" Yeah, we came up with it from like this whole 1,000-cut torture thing.
But like, would you really be like so surprised if they said that?
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of interesting to discover that.
I'm just saying, in Japanese lore, there's a lot of references to 1,000 whatever. There's like 1,000 rising moons or something like that. I think I just pulled that out of my ass.
Probably why we have 1,000-Year Door.
Actually, that is true. Now that I think about it, that's where it came from. It was because of like 1,000 years is because of Japanese lore. That would make sense. I get it now. I get the 1,000-Year Door.
We've solved the mystery.
Solved the mystery after years.
Yeah, the stream where we're not even really talking too much about focusing more on origami. We solved the mystery of 1,000-Year Door.
Yeah, you're welcome, like, internet. Oh, God. Now, like, I'm getting to my mind because I have to think about stupid water cyclones. I don't think there's a way I could set it up that way, and I hate it.
At this point, to set it up, just set it up to attack, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to set it up to attack, but like it like played with my mind there. Like I couldn't do anything. Okay, so do a +1 there, and then.
So did you actually try cheering the toads?
Yeah, I did. I actually went to 1,000. It didn't work. Oh, okay, that's simple.
I thought that was just for time. I thought you were just buying time there.
Did I? Maybe I did. Okay, I'll do it next one. But this works, right? No, it doesn't because of the waterfalls. Ah, we're gonna buy more time. 7 seconds, and then we'll cheer to the toads. Cheer, toads, cheer. Give me life. Do you get rid of the cyclones? That'd be amazing. No. Oh, I got shiny boots out of it. Just revealed all kinds of cool stuff. What did they reveal? Oh.
They show your path.
Oh. That's cool.
Was that your first time doing that in the game?
Yeah, no. Again, because, and I appreciate, I need to buy more time. I appreciate it that they don't just like tutorial all this, but then, and the other side of it, then it's like, oh, well, you literally didn't know this was a thing, so good luck, you know? So, like, I appreciate it, but then it also throws me off sometimes. Okay, so we'll do that.
Okay, are you trying to set up an attack here, or also trying to get, like, the elemental set up?
No, I'm setting up an attack with an additional attack, so that way I can get him out of the,
Not gonna get that additional attack in.
because of the cyclones. I hate the cyclones, man. Buy more time. Okay, I take everything I said back. I hate this game. Okay. Okay, so we got the additional there, so we switch over to that. No, we can't even do that, so I guess we just don't get the additional one. Sorry. Well, I guess I don't need that per se, so we'll go there. Okay, so that moves us over there, which we're safe, which moves us around. to
You
that.
still got all 3 from ring moves, is that right?
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to see.
Anyway, you can just set it up so you just do like a straight line down there. Since
I mean, I could,
that's
but
where you turn it.
if I see like what I did here, it should just work. Yeah, this should work.
Cyclone.
The cyclone isn't hitting anything that would obstruct my movement, though.
But the +1 attack.
Yeah, I know. +1. Oh, you're right. Wait. Wait. I can fix it, damn it! I knew what to do. I needed to slide it. Oh, my life. I could have got that +1. I just need to slide.
So no +1, just the 1 attack this time.
It's okay. It's something. Oh, it's worth. Whatever. Okay. So boots on the ground.
Yeah, the cool thing with the boss fight too is that you can imagine that people that would approach it entirely differently with how they would, rotate it and set up their attacks. Like personally, like me looking at this and watching you do it, in my mind, I've just seen like something completely different into how I would approach it.
Right. And, I mean, that's kind of like, I still want to see the statistical, I guess you could say, merit to that. But I would want to see, is there really truly only one way to solve all these stuff? And I'm not even saying like, okay, like, yeah, if you wanted to do the punch versus the elemental. No, I'm not talking about that. Like, for maximum damage, is there truly only one way to solve it? And I'd love to see that, like,
well, that would be
that
probably
research
that we would see when we start seeing speedruns of this game, because they'll have to figure out the best optimal ways to get through these kind of fights.
Right.
So that would probably, require figuring out what's the best way in order to take that, and would it look the same in each speedrun?
Oh, I just fucked myself. I forgot about the fucking tornadoes. God damn it. Yeah, go to Circle Mario. Alright, we haven't
It's
taken.
just funny to imagine like an actual fight. It's like Mario has his turn, he runs in a circle. Like just an actual like encounter, just the dragons watching you. What are you doing?
He's just running in a circle. Well, I do find it interesting because I did that and he used his attack. He hasn't used his mega attack, which is I find interesting.
Now I'm just thinking of Breath of the Wild and thinking, isn't that what some people do with fighting like enemies? Like instead of fighting this, it's like, oh gosh, I'm panic running around them in a circle.
Right. Just like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. Ah. Okay, so I do that. And it runs around. Hits that, we're good. So then this needs to be that. But I feel like I need to hit the on-off switch. Which...
Now, does hitting like an elemental panel like activate it if there is... if it's not active, or do you just pass it?
Pretty sure you just pass it, but I think now that you say that, I don't think it does. So maybe I don't want to hit the on off right now. Okay, well, we'll do this then.
Okay.
Working my way downtown, walking fast, faces fast, and I'm homebound. Okay. This video is automatically demonetized anyways. Oh man, I know you were like there back in the old days, but I remember an old group I had like would joke about that, like literally. Oh, I messed that up. Okay, literally would joke about like, hey, that was a bad block. Saying, hey, all of a sudden, like you sing a song and it's just like, oh, it's over, it's over. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Use the arrows, Luke. Use it. Okay, so now we clearly have to get to I was about to say, you see, I'm screwed now, but no, I'm not screwed. You know why? Because of the power of sliding. Okay, so we got that.
Ooh, nicely done.
And then...
Oh, wait, but what about... Is there a water spout there?
There is, yeah, you're right. Good call. Fudge.
Like, that's the thing that makes this one hard, is that you have to, like, get it off of the water spout route, and then also still move the earth elemental to...
So, does this work, in theory? So, no, because it interferes with that. Okay. So, clearly... it's not meant to be there, but that's fine. So right now... in theory, if we're looking just to get this shit done, then we do this. Ah! Thank you! About 99 seconds, I don't even care. Thank you.
Yeah, like, I don't want to, like, interfere with your train of thought, but I'm just watching the time, and it's just...
Okay.
He does know it, right?
I am not gonna lie, I keep missing it, and I know I shouldn't, but... So this works, right? On times 2 there, yeah.
And you get a bit of health. That looks pretty good.
Yeah,
oh,
and,
wait,
and
no,
that's...
you don't get the health, unfortunately.
Well, no, fudge that. I did this because of the health. Damn it. I'm actually gonna rework that because I did that literally for the health. Okay, so let's do everything else besides that. So, okay, we move that there. We move that. No, that doesn't work in that sense. Wait, I'm gonna get this health. I need this health.
I mean, you don't need it. You could, like, I don't think you'll take damage this round.
I know, I
it
just
by
would have
next
been
round.
nice to have it, I guess. Whatever. One more time, whatever. So I can at least make these
maybe
moves.
You can even just kill him by the next turn.
Alright, so go here. I like how this turned from a podcast to like coaching. So hey guys, yeah, you definitely want to watch the video. So again, video will definitely explain the lack of content of like podcasts.
Well, I mean, this is like one of the things that I personally like about Origami King is that it's a combat style that forces you to use your brain and think about it, and like it's not something that's just feels like time.
Yeah, I think I got it. I just want to make sure I had it. I had it. I had to give up the heart. I get it. Life is life. but I get it times 2.
I just like the combat style just because of the fact that it's like, you know, you're actually having to think about it in different, interesting ways. I'm a person that personally loves to play things like chess, for instance. Like, so that sort of, like, in this sense, it's sort of being like almost like a board game type aspect of it. It is something that I personally find really appealing. And just like, oh, you know, like a puzzle thing, like you know, in chess, like how it's kind of like a thing, like, oh, figure out checkmate a certain number of moves. That's almost the kind of vibe it is with something like this, right? Where, oh, figure out the way to get to an enemy and deal damage to him the most effectively in 3 moves. So that's an aspect that I find really appealing with a game like it. It's something that I didn't find with like something like Sticker Star or Color Splash, where it felt like there wasn't really any sort of complexity to that combat system at all. It was literally like, use a card and or a sticker and then attack the enemy. It just wasn't something that really appealed to me.
Yeah.
In that sense. It felt like just such a bare bones thing in comparison. And while this is like, you know, it's not the same as like Thousand Year Door or Paper Mario, it's got that complexity to the combat system that makes you think, gets you engaged and interested in it. And that's something that I think Origami King has done a great job of doing. Making that combat more engaging, interesting.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to agree with you, I do agree with you. It definitely did make it more engaging. And I would add asterisks of to the general public, because especially because you were a part of the community for the longest time, there were communities that were always giving you different ways of being more involved or finding different ways of playing Paper Mario, but that doesn't really happen with a casual audience. And so that's something where I will say this: it didn't matter if you were on a Nintendo forum or not, you were engaged, so that's something I definitely agree with you on. No, that's not it. Is that one? No,
What are you trying to do here?
I am trying to live my life.
Well, you're doing pretty much. You're almost finished with this guy, I think. So you just need to get the attacks in.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get the ×2.
And buy time when you need it.
I'm gonna get time. Don't remember, I'm Mr. Moneybags. We got it. We good.
Yeah, how much money have we spent on this battle now?
I don't know. Over $5,000 probably. I don't know. So let's do that. Then what if we do this? What if we slide? And then we have only one move left.
Looks alright.
I'm trying to think here. So, no, it doesn't, because I don't even start. Okay, so we move there. I want to move. No, because I don't want to hit it that soon. So we'll leave that there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun watching you go around in a circle.
But circles are what make, haven't you heard, around the world,
Yeah, but I guess I would have also time.
Ah! God damn it. If you weren't here, I feel really bad. If you weren't here, I would have lost this, a long time ago.
The thing I was getting at is that the arrow that moves you down in is going to get washed away. So you need a path to get further in.
Oh, see force again, bam. My life, we're good. Okay, anyways. So then no matter what, I have to rotate this. Okay, so I have to rotate.
Interesting. The one thing I was looking at is that you could maybe slide the arrow that has the on switch next to it and use that to go down, because then you would move closer and also activate a possible super attack.
So you're talking about that?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, but that still puts this into effect here.
Well, I'm curious, what does the hands do in this battle? We haven't used the hands.
Oh no, the hands, if they're in fist, it's just a regular attack. It's only if it was open hands that would be the 1,000 folded hands or whatever.
Yeah, but there is one hand there.
Where?
Right?
Oh, they are.
So maybe you could get a finisher.
Maybe. So at that point, let's do this, and then.
No, because that arrow.
No, yeah, I saw it. Goodbye, more dot. What the hell? Oh, I cheered one coin.
Yeah, go Toad.
Go Toad. Thanks, Toad.
He
You
threw
did.
a random piece of garbage onto the tiles.
Okay, so there's that. Goes over there. Goes up there. Okay. So then from there, we're gonna do not the turtle. We're gonna do this. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do this.
Anyway, I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy this for now, because like the thing is that if I try and communicate like how I would do this sort of puzzle, is that it's like probably completely different from how you're thinking it.
Well, it's the stupid cyclones, and maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe I thought I was smart, and apparently I'm not smart. So, like, okay,
Try to flee the battle.
not fleeing
Use the flee
anything.
button.
So what if I did this? And then what if I did this? Yeah, we're gonna buy more time.
Well,
I might actually
I'll let
run
you-
out of money at this battle. Like how bad it's going. So we do that, but it's going to get rid of the. Okay, so we do that. So we leave it there, but it's going to get rid of that.
What down arrow would be? Oh, you have like the ×2 down arrow, I guess, that you could move from that position you had.
Okay, at this point, I'm gonna work backwards, and that's kind of how I used to do puzzles just in general. Okay, so I want to hit this hand, right? How do I get to this hand? So we're gonna do this, and that's how I get to this
That's getting
hand.
washed away, or the
No, the top left, and then from
Okay.
there we have to do that. But then, how do we get there?
you also need an arrow to start off with.
I know, but that's why I'm trying to figure it out. It's called process of elimination force.
Now, I can guarantee if I had been playing this game, probably one of the things I'd have screwed up in the boss battles is forgetting about the fact that you need an arrow to start the battle off. So there would probably have been a number of times where I would have just, landed flat on my face after spending like a minute trying to figure out how to do it. And being like, yes, I've got this, and then Mario just goes,
That doesn't happen though. Ah! I hate this battle. I hate this game. Take back everything I said about it.
just find some way. Like, it doesn't even have to be ideal at this point, because you're just throwing money away, and
It's not like money matters.
but what if, like, you just get through this attack, do a bit of damage, and then the next turn you have, like, some super easy, obvious one?
That
Because
would
it's
be
not like he's even going to be doing that much damage to you right now. And he's not even close to being fully charged.
Yeah, I just wish there was like an actual way of like deciding like what happened in life. Okay, so there's that. No, that doesn't work. That no, that doesn't provide any benefit there. There's that.
Maybe just go with that.
Actually, yeah, no,
Actually,
that's actually really good. Yeah, no, I'll take that.
time.
I take it. You see that like over 15K that I spent, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That I think like that was the one that I thought of like I don't know 2 buying times ago or something.
Wow.
Oh man, it.
I can't be in the air. Okay. Well, good learning experience.
Good to know.
We're good.
Good to know.
We only spend 15K on that. No big deal. That was good information.
The important thing is we get a new field now.
Yeah, but what if this field is more complicated than the last field?
I mean, with how long it took you on that last one, I don't think you could get much.
Okay, so we're going there up. We
So
have
I
to
guess
get
what you would have to do to do the hands is you have to do like a jump beforehand, and you can't be on his final part where he launches himself into the air, something like that.
Yeah. So at this point, we just want to go for a standard attack. So I want to go for. I could do it right now. I want to go for that hand right there. So if I do that,
just move. Like you have 3 ring moves. Just move everything you want to that.
yeah, like do right there, and then can I get a heart in there too?
Forget the heart. Just go for the kill.
I'll get a heart too. Actually, no, +1. Never mind. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, he's got like very little health. You'll either get him or get him really close.
Oh, we're good. We're good. Yeah, here we go.
You see,
He's so
wasn't
angry.
that so much easier?
Shh, Forrest, I don't need your back. His back says. All right, so it was hit him with the boots first, and then hit him with the hammer after. Okay, there we go. Okay.
That's pretty good.
Now we hit him with the hammer. Nice, excellent. There we go. Oh, but the hammer broke. All right, guys. I know we're celebrating, but let's just have a moment of silence for our lonely shiny hammer.
Rest in peace.
Anyways, so yeah, let's go. So,
the hammer died accomplishing something very important. Oh, hey, look, you made back 1,400 of the
1,500 that I spent. See, there we go. See, we only had 100 coin deficit. We good. I'll take that. That's a worthy investment in my opinion.
But hey, you didn't die on this boss.
True. Like, Forrest is there to attest. And again, you could check out twitch.tv/generation_71 on that one for how many times I've died. So, look, it turned into another bibliophile. It was like the last one. Okay. So, if we're talking about stuff that I like about this game, I know it's very obscure, but I really like these book designs. I don't know why, but I really like them.
They look really nice. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Bibliophile.
Like I said, like the aesthetics of this game are among the best in the series. If not, like honestly, you could say like it's the best in the series.
Right.
Just in terms of like, because they have so much more that they can put into it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I guess this is going to be my last point since we're almost at the 2-hour mark, which is why I want this to be at. And this last part wasn't really very much podcasty, but again, it's our rough draft. We're good. I have personally always had a problem with visuals make a game better. And I say that in the aspect of, like, don't get me wrong, like, Olivia looks amazing. Mario with his little white outline and how, you know, when he's running around and he jumps, like, at the top of his head, like, flickers a little bit because of the air. Like, that's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, that's really good. That's attention to detail. I get it. But I will never concede to the fact that visuals make a game. And most of the time it doesn't. Like, this game has a lot going for it. It's not just visuals. There's a lot of other stuff going for it. But it seems like that's always a point of topic. Like, oh my god, this game is beautiful. Because people did the same thing for Color Splash. Oh my god, this game is beautiful. Technically, people said it for Sticker Star. It's like, oh man, this game is beautiful for it being on the DS platform. I don't think that should really be a factor. And I say that because one of my favorite games from the PS4, Xbox One generation, you could put Switch into that, but Switch came out so later, I don't put that into that fact, was Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is a 32-bit game. And don't get me wrong, it looks good, but it's still 32-bit.
Yeah, and but it's the style of it.
Well, not even necessarily the style. Like, I still, like, boil it down to, I don't care if it was just a giant blob. If a game is fun, that's what I care about. Visuals do take part of the game to accelerate the experience, but I don't think it's the core of the experience, if that makes sense.
Like, yeah, obviously not. But, like, I mean, one of the things that I think Nintendo's always done well is, like, because, you know, it's like, Nintendo's always sort of been, like, the less powerful system in terms of... So, with their games, they've always had to try and make, like, the most out of using a limited amount of power. Like, to make games that still look really good while not needing to, you know, have that excessive amount of power to show things, right?
Hmm.
Ooh, I feel it. Oh, I'm just reading.
Oh, and now she's gonna... Ugh, I'm dying. Okay. Fill up parts of the tunnel with water. Okay, I get it. Hashtag knock off Lugia. No, okay, anyways.
But, like, I guess with, in terms of graphics, like style, I feel like is sort of, like, still an important thing to a game in capturing sort of its, like, the spirit of the game, right?
Right.
With something like you mentioned, like, Sticker Star, like, people were calling it beautiful. Like, but, like, the thing that, like, one of my complaints with it is that the world looks generic to me. Like, there isn't, it feels, like, empty, or, like, just generic, you know, like, just, it's one of the issues I have sort of with, like, 2D, most 2D Mario games, is they feel kind of, like, very samey a lot of the time.
Well, okay, I guess on the topic of Sticker Star, so remind me, I know you told me before, but how much of Sticker Star did you play?
I haven't played, like, a Paper Mario game since Super Paper Mario.
Right, okay. So, like, when it comes to Sticker Star, and again, like, I guess am defending it, but I'm not really defending it. The charm of Sticker Star, and again, like, I'm trying to, like, defend it, but, like, not really defend it, was that you're right. The worlds were extremely bland. And then you had stickers to decorate the world. And that is actually, like, a really cool concept to me. Like, you have a general world and you have stickers, and then you can kind of, like, generate the world to what you wanted it to have been. That would have been an awesome concept. That's not what we got, unfortunately. It was one of those things like, yeah, oh, hey, there should be a bridge here. Oh, hey, you found a sticker that resembles a bridge. Cool. Oh, hey, there should be a tower here, but there's not. Hey, here's a sticker that makes the tower. So, again, it's same thing with Color Splash. The concept of it could have been really, really cool. Like, you have a bland world, like, because I think you can even agree, if you had a bland world, a bland landscape, and you can decorate it with your own stickers, and by doing so actually generated different gameplay, that would have been amazing.
Like, one of the problems, I think, with Sticker Star is probably that a lot of the stickers that are out there are very samey. Like, you would have, like, the big, like, special ones that you have to find in each world, but a lot of the other stickers are kind of, like, just, like, oh, here's a, like, other hammer or jump or things like that. Like, just a lot more of the same kind of sticker. Like, if there was some sort of, like, incentive, like, collect type of stickers, more special type of stickers, if that makes sense, would, I say that a lot, would sort of bring a lot more interest to the world.
Right, and I even make the argument of, like, go all out with it, because there used to be scratch and sniff stickers. Wouldn't it have been so cool, like, if you actually, like, had that and, like, you scratch off a sticker, like, oh my god, it, like, smelled weird or whatever, and it actually did something to the world. That would have been really cool.
Like, I love collecting things in games. And like, as you can see with the Origami King, if you give me some reason or something special about going out and getting collectibles, like the toads in this game, or like filling in all the holes, and even hidden blocks. Like, there are actually incentives for doing that, I think, in Toad Town. Like, if you give me some reason to go after these sort of things, it makes a huge world of difference, rather than rather than just so much that's just like samey. Like, just some purpose towards the stickers would have felt better, I feel.
Yeah, no, I get it. Trust me, I get it. So, but all right, since we're rounding up at the hour 50 mark, do we have any last remarks, I guess?
Okay, so from what I have seen of Origami King, I am pretty sure that it will actually be arguably one of my favorite Paper Mario games, like the first one in like a decade. I'm getting that sort of vibe through it. I know it's not like a traditional one, but I feel like it's gonna live up to the same sort of possibilities as Super Paper Mario, where it reinvents the game and it actually creates something very fun and very enjoyable. And like, while I feel like it might be limited in terms of replayability, I think it's going to be something that's very special, very fun, and I'm hopeful that it'll carry on through the later world. Like, there are things I've seen that I know that I'm just not going to comment on, but I hope it will live up to what I'm hoping.
Right. All right. My final comments with this extreme look up here with Mario's mustache. Like, doesn't even look like a mustache. It looks like a very jagged, open face or whatever. But I know it's his mustache, like, legit. But and look at this wording on this sign. Like, what's up with the sign? Okay, anyways, okay. My final statements on this game, as I've played it, obviously, because I'm not done with it, is I am actually enjoying it. I am still kind of measuring it up, because you just can't measure it up to a Paper Mario 64. You can't measure it up to a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. You just can't. And it would be unfair to do so. What I am measuring it up to is actually Super Paper Mario at this point. And so far, it's like, it's there. It's not quite there, but it's getting there. But I also have I wouldn't say bias, because I've already explained how I felt about the game. Super Paper Mario had a very extensive story, which I love that story. And so far, Origami King hasn't necessarily pushed it in that direction. But I know Forrest wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Okay, so far where I am with Origami King, feel like I'm comparing it to Super Paper Mario and like how it's going to be a similar type of favorite to that. I'm feeling that maybe in terms of, like, I may love this game more for some gameplay, I feel. But Super Paper Mario, I feel, is going to be one that I'm going to love more for story. That's sort of my feeling with what I've seen so far.
Right, and that's fair. Like, obviously, because, and nobody can deny this, even myself, as much as I love TTYD, no Paper Mario has had a better story than Super Paper Mario. That's just fact. There might be people that will argue, like, no, but TTYD had this, and that. Nah, dude. Like, TTYD had a good story, but it wasn't as inclusive with all the dips and turns and, like, reveals as Super Paper Mario did. So, you can...
What Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door had that was really great, in my opinion, was replayability. Like, the ability to just do a completely different sort of play style or strategy every time you play it.
Well, not even that sense too, but a replayability of like you said, the way you play the game, but as well as like answers. Because like we talked about again, I'll bring it up again with the Poonies. Like there was an option saying like, "Oh, you're not a bully," or he was like, "Yeah, nothing again, jerk," or whatever. There was another text line, but like at the end, you still got where you got. Versus, I still feel that with Super Paper Mario, you had a more direct, I guess, storylines. You didn't have those branching trees, but there was a lot more emotional involvement in it than any other game.
Okay, I think there's one more thing that I should mention, like that I don't know if I've talked about. Like one of the things I love in like the first two Paper Marios and also kind of in Super Paper Mario, all those shorter, is like the interludes. Like every time you would finish a chapter, and then it's like, oh, we go and get story from other characters and see things from their expense. From their perspectives, or even get to play as them, like especially with Thousand Year Door and like Peach and Bowser, that sort of thing. That was always something that was really good, and it especially had a lot of options in terms of choices in those cases, like with Bowser in particular.
Okay, this is going to round us out to the 2 hour mark. Okay, so I agree with you on the interlude part. Like, I don't disagree with you at all. But in some cases, and not me, but in some cases, some people would be like, "Oh, that's just filler, whatever." But no, I remember, and I know you were saying like you didn't play it as much, but on the N64, I love the interludes on the N64 because like not only did you get to do the interludes to do your own stuff as Peach, but technically, if you did not do the stuff as Peach, it did not set up Mario for success in the game. So it was one of those things, it wasn't necessarily filler, it was also one of those things like, hey, if you didn't do this, Mario wasn't going to succeed. Which I think is great. Okay, go ahead.
It's also one of those cool moments where, like Peach is supposed to be in the damsel in distress, actually had some other, sort of contribution to the story, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I always felt like she had some contribution to the story in other games. Yes, she was damsel in distress, something like that. She got kidnapped or whatever. But yeah, no, this game definitely showed her more as no, she was a damsel in distress, but she still also helped the main character to save her, but also to deter stuff, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to be too specific for the viewers, and specifically you, since you haven't played the game yet. So
okay, like I have played that, like all Paper Mario 1.
Well, I thought you said you didn't do the 64.
No, like I've played it once, so it's like I don't have that great a knowledge of it.
Right. So yeah, I guess okay, fine then. Since you played, I guess spoilers are okay. So the fact that you were able to find items in the castle as Peach, and you could put them in a chest for when Mario actually accessed the castle, could get that item, but then could not actually reach that particular area of the castle as Mario. You could only do it as Peach, which was crazy. So yeah, Peach definitely had a stronger role in at least the 64 version than any other versions.
Like it just started a trend in Peach getting more involved.
That's why I don't understand. Like apparently there was this amazing platforming game on the DS. It was like Super Princess Peach or whatever, or something along that lines. And apparently it was actually a really good platformer. I'm surprised they didn't expand on that, but I guess maybe Nintendo wants to keep her as a damsel in distress. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I guess we'll wrap it up now.
What time is it? We got 2 minutes. Okay, so 2 minutes. On the TTYD version, it was interesting to see. I forget the name of the computer, but how she interacted with the computer.
Oh, Tech.
Yeah, Tech.
Yeah, Tech was interesting. Like there was a lot of interesting, weird things in Thousand Year Door. and that kind of also carried over into Super Paper Mario.
Right. But it was, I can't necessarily say it was as impactful as it was of like, oh, hey, accessing areas to give certain areas to Mario when he actually got into the area. But you can argue, like, very positively, like, if Peach didn't do the, I mean, I hate to say it, but it was manipulation of tech, then Mario never would have survived once he got to the move.
Yeah, like it's the cool little things like that
Right. So.
that really make the game special.
TTYD. I love TTYD. I also remember the first time I actually got the Waluigi skin when I found the Luigi medallion.
That was such a cool Easter egg.
And then I actually bought the Wario medallion from the guy. It's like, oh my god, it's Waluigi. Who would have thought? But alrighty, I guess we're going to end the podcast there. So, do you want to plug your stuff?
I do YouTube stuff, usually Let's Plays, and various other things occasionally. We'll see how much I do.
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to kick him in the ass. I'm going to make him do some more stuff. Don't worry. So, I guess to plug my stuff, yeah, I do Twitch. I will start YouTube hopefully within the next couple of weeks. And by do, I guess restart. It's just been some unforeseen hiccups that have stopped that. But no, I'm streaming on Twitch. So if you want to join me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/generation_71. And like, especially if you like the Let's Play of Origami King, I will continue it on there. Obviously, this is a YouTube exclusive for this part, and then there's going to be a bunch of people like, what the hell happened? Be like, yeah, go watch my YouTube. So, but yeah, so alright, this has been the Generation 71. Thank you for tuning in to the Paper Thin Podcast.
Peace out, everyone.